Hi bloomers, welcome back to my channel. As I've mentioned before, I will only be posting the extended versions of my channelings on my Patreon page, but I will still leave a little nugget here with a link to the full channeling if you feel guided to step into that new stage of the journey and if the messages are resonating with your specific situation at the moment. There's also plenty of free public content on that page that will always be available to all of you, regardless of you being one of my patrons or not. So I just wanted to leave this out there. This channeling is called The Awakening of the Masculine Inner Flame. And I woke up this morning at 6:11 feeling like my heart was being pulled out of my own chest. And immediately I heard the awakening of the masculine inner flame. So I just went about my morning trying to manage to get everything out of the way so that I could just sit down and channel these messages for everyone out there who is going through this at the moment. If you are indeed feeling a lot of sadness lately, involuntary crying, a strong pull in your heart chakra, just know that your divine counterpart might be going through the same right now. And I've discussed this last year, but for a strong masculine energy, there will always be a need to exhaust all mental and logical resources to the point of hitting a brick wall and finding no way out. I've witnessed this happening with many of the masculines, where they reach a point of not being able to make sense of their own situation anymore, and then having to resort to their heart space. It was presented to me that many masculines will only be able to move on by reaching out to their counterparts, as the feminines hold the key to the next step of their journey. So in order for this to happen, they will have to open up their hearts once again, and this will happen, either by choice or force, just like it happened to all of us feminines along our journey lately. So you might be experiencing a pull to reach out to your twin stronger than ever, a longing for being together that it's insanely dominant and it just populates your thoughts every second of every day. And the feeling of missing them is just a struggle that your heart cannot bear anymore, right? And it is heartbreaking to go through this process completely powerless and unable to help them. But you have to trust that there is nothing else that you can do at this point but to heal it within yourself through self-empowerment and faith. So what I'm going to do today is I will try to explain how this event is happening in the higher dimensions and how it translates into physicality. And this may or may not be your specific situation, but if it is strongly speaking to you, my advice is to go through the steps that I will explain and that my divine team presented to me, as the process that your twin is going through is a direct reflection of your own situation, and you hold the key to release them into their own personal freedom as much as your own personal freedom. This is so much alignment and teamwork at the moment. Even if you're not in contact with your twin, things are happening at the same time, in the same intensity for both of you. And so it's only natural that you feel that pull, that you feel that strong need for belonging, and also that deep sadness that comes from such a deep place within yourself that the only outlet that you find for it is to cry. It can come out as anger, frustration, resentment, disappointment, but it's just coming out in tears, and it's coming out in that sense of belonging that needs to be somehow fulfilled. For a very long time, your masculine has relied on their own mental abilities to make rational decisions that were in alignment with their human desires, and that has led them exactly into the place that they are right now. But in reality, nothing makes sense anymore, because the things that they have accomplished so far are void of any meaning for their soul. Yes, they may have achieved many things that they had on their list, but where did it take them? That's what they're thinking. Where did it take me? And many unions are happening through the process of soul mission. And in those cases, where life purpose is completely intertwined with sacred union, the feminine holds the last piece for the puzzle. And only through her, they can find their inner peace. For the masculines that have reached a point of that mental exhaustion and physical surrender, they're experiencing the same soul shock that we have gone through lately. And that translates into physical reactions, just like the ones you have experienced as well. Sickness, dizziness, inability to sleep, an active dream space, cold-like symptoms, flu-like symptoms, extreme migraines, confusion, even disassociation at times. But this purge of the masculine is happening so that the hard shell of concrete that they hold around their heart chakra can be broken down and awaken within them once again, right? You can call it the return to innocence, if you will, but my guides call it the awakening of the inner flame. So the going back to their true essence, the fire being born again. And as they go through this, and you hold the key for their freedom, you need to stay on your toes and do the homework yourself, because that means that your heart chakra has been closed as well, because you have been experiencing love or trying to experience love on a physical level, but not fully ready to embrace the pain of the physical manifestation of that divine love. And it is true, it breaks your bones and it burns your skin, you have scars to prove it. And you hold those scars in your own heart center, covered and masked, so nobody can see, but they're there and you know them. So this is how you can help yourself and your twin flame to heal these aspects, regardless of you coming into union with your twin or a divine counterpart. I won't be distinguishing these anymore, as I've already explained that whoever is being brought into your life is the teacher that you need for the next step of healing along your journey. And they are preparing you for human love. Because you have learned all about unconditional love. But are you ready for crazy love, messy love, jealous love, broken love, painful love, hard love, like really, really human love? Because that's what your soul came down here to experience. You are made of unconditional love. You didn't have to learn about it. You only had to remember. But what you really came down here is to experience unconditional love in a human form, where there is conditioning, there is ego, there's events and situations that pull you towards different directions, right? So you came down here to learn to practice unconditional love on the physical. Okay, so these are the situations that were presented to me and the steps for healing. Again, use your own discernment and see how this applies to your situation. As I explained, there's extreme mirroring. So whatever is going on with your twin, or whatever you are detecting that is happening with your twin, you need to have the ability to reflect upon yourself and see how that same situation is happening in your own life. Okay. The first aspect is the no contact with your twin. And the universe is asking you, in which areas of your life are you not practicing active communication or proactive involvement? So if your twin is not in contact with you, it is because they are not in contact with themselves, as one thing leads to the other. So what they're asking here is, are you making sure that you're being selfish every day? And by selfish, I mean, are you making sure that you're putting your relationship with self above everything else? Are you connecting with Source without any other intention but to just be connected? Like no questions asked, no need for answers, just pure gratitude and full surrender to your soul mission down here. And I know that doing that demands faith, because it means that you no longer need to know everything about your journey, but simply the daily direction of the divine will of your soul. So there's no attachments, no begging, no questioning. Just nurturing that relationship and developing a strong bond between you and your divine team. So they're asking you, on a physical level, which areas of your life are you ignoring? Maybe your admin, your bills, your health, your diet, your friends, your social life, your drive, your motivation, your livelihood, your finances, yourself, your self-care, your self-love, right? Which areas are you not keeping in contact with? In which areas are you feeling disconnected from at the moment? And the advice is really to go and make that connection. If it is with spirit because you've been asking too many questions and you stop being able to listen to your own higher self and your divine team, then sit down with them just for the pure experience of sitting down with spirit. I call it sitting in the power. Rather than asking questions all the time and asking for direction and coming from an anxious and desperate energy, could you just allow yourself to be in contact with your guides just for the sake of nurturing that bond? Okay? So no contact with your twin is a reflection of you not being in contact with certain important aspects of your life. And that's what's being called of you here. Then the other one they were talking about is the purpose of the soul. And this one is a very specific one. So the universe is asking you, which causes are you supporting, and how are those causes supporting the cause of your own soul? And what I mean by that is, what are you watching? What are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you drinking? What are you eating? Where are you going? Who are you connecting with? Are all of these things empowering you and putting you into a place of confusion, right? On the other hand. And I found along my journey of sharing my own insights that people tend to click on titles that provide them the comfort that they want. If I put union is coming, or your twin is coming back, or your twin is regretting leaving you, everybody goes and has a tendency of clicking on it, right? Because it's comforting. It provides you answers. But if the title is about healing and personal freedom and surrender, people don't tend to click on it so often unless they're fully ready to pursue that next step of the journey, which demands work and commitment, right? So again, they're asking you, what are you following and how is that following you? What are you supporting with your energy and how is that supporting your own energy towards evolution? Are these things giving you the clarity about your journey or keeping you stuck in the ego need for answers? Because whatever it is, you need to make a healthier decision so that your twin can do the same. This is a time of reflection. Which groups are you associated with? Which friends are you entertaining? Which relationships are stealing your energy that should be focused on something else that it's more productive? And through that process of analyzing that, do the homework, make the change. It's up to you. It's up to you. And then on the other side of this, because your energy is precious, it should be directed towards personal development, right? The collective development comes from all of us performing personal development and all of us being able to help others rise through our own rising, right? So put your own personal development first here and see what is your energy supporting and how is that supporting your own energy. The other aspect that they were talking about is stubbornness. And I want to see if I can make this one clear to all of us, because we all deal with stubbornness in some level or the other, right? But in this case, the universe is asking you, how are you making mind-based decisions and not heart-based decisions? Because the price we pay for making logical decisions is to give the power of our hearts away to the ego mind. So you can ask yourself, are your decisions based on a physical need to have something, or are they in full alignment with your soul needs? And I'll go deeper into this later on. But are you looking for a way of making more of something? Could be money, could be work, could be friends, could be union, through the sacrifice of your own heart's happiness? Or are you allowing your soul to guide you towards your passion and then allowing everything else to be a reward for that alignment that you step into? Are you using your self-expression to trigger a reaction out of a person or a situation? Or is your communication truly reflecting the contents of your own soul? And the result is simply being a consequence of the alignment that you are creating for yourself. I hope I make this clear, right? So are you manipulating through self-expression a desired result? Or are you reflecting the content of your own soul and embracing the alignment as a consequence of it, right? So you might even feel that your twin is being stubborn about their own pursuits. But try to reflect upon yourself. How are you doing the same in other areas of your life? How are you applying stubborn energy on the same thing over and over and over again and not getting any results? How are you still fighting for something over and over and over again, even though it doesn't come to you, because it is not supposed to come to you? So it's very important that you remove those aspects of stubborn energy that are being applied in places where they're being led by the ego mind and not the soul needs, okay? Look at them, find them, change them, come into alignment with your soul's desires and your heart's ambitions, because that's alignment. And then the universe decides who stays and who goes, what stays and what goes. But that's, either way, it's always alignment, and that's what needs to happen. Then the other aspect, and this is the sensitive one, is the aspect of self-sabotage. It's that stage where you start to question yourself. What if I would have said I love you? What if I would have acted differently? What if I would have stayed? What if I would have found a way to make them stay? And obviously this is a very self-destructive process, but we all once in a while take a trip down that lane. But the universe is really asking you, how is your ego sabotaging your soul's journey by demanding explanations about certain events in your life? Because you can't change anything that has already happened. And even if you could, your whole situation could be different today, but that was not the path that your soul chose to take. This one was. And you're exactly where you need to be. So this self-sabotage can be noticed in the shape of lack of belief in self, whether through your own psychic abilities to do the work that you're intended to do, or by means of escaping into your comfort zone and being able to take on new challenges that would actually propel you forward. But it's that voice, that nagging voice constantly making you question yourself, that is the self-destructive aspect of it. No, you're not ugly, you're not fat, you're not useless, you're not unworthy of having union. You're simply in the process of blooming into your own truth and unplugging from the illusion of years and decades and lifetimes of conditioning that was impressed upon you. But the thing about the truth is that it demands change. That's the pain behind truth, because you cannot unknow something that was revealed to you. And you can never go back to the form of who you were before you knew it. But our minds always have a tendency to go back to the crime scene and look for clues that we might have missed the first time around. So you need to stop that. There are no more clues. There are no more excuses. Some things just don't have a logic behind them. You did what you did because your soul had to experience what it did go through in order to grow through. And that is that. Anything else besides that is just your human mind trying to make sense of your own behavior as well as the behavior of others. But that right there is self-sabotage, because it doesn't allow you to take full accountability for your own actions, and therefore not taking emotional accountability for your behavior. And if you give your power away like that to a problem, then you're also giving the power away of finding the solution. And that's where you guys are taking you. The other aspect is of soul mission. And so the universe is asking you to let go of the concept that you may be too spiritual for your twin, and therefore you must temper or hold back your skills and your life purpose and your awkwardness, so to speak. The one who is supposed to come into your life is perfectly programmed to love all that you are in all your glory and splendor. They will love the quirkiness, the weirdness, the awkwardness, just the same as they will love everything that is divine within you. They are programmed to do so. But unless that freak comes out to play, then people won't be able to identify that aspect of you, right? So how is the universe presenting you clues about your soul mission and you're not taking them as an excuse to stay stuck in the same place, which feels more comfortable to you? Because within your biggest fear lies your undeniable strength. Indeed, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger and wiser. But it also gives you the direction in your life to heal others in the same condition as you. So your own personal freedom is a direct reflection of your soul mission. And what has kept you stuck in pain and hurt is the lesson that your soul had to learn in order to liberate others from their own conditioning, which is the same as yours. Let that sink in for a while. Your personal freedom is a reflection of your soul mission. And you need to find a purpose for the pain and the hurt that you experience so you can learn, teach others to do the same. So what do you need to do here? It's uncomfortable, but you need to put yourself out there, be in the spotlight. Share your story, share your pain, share your lessons, share your virtues. Rise into soul mission through self-empowerment and inspire others to do the same. Whatever that may be, write a book, create a video, go into public speaking, everything like that. But it's through your own self-empowerment that you inspire others to do the same, including your twin. Because unless you shine your light bright, nobody will be able to see you in this world, including your twin. Just the same. Okay, so don't dim your light for anybody, most especially not for your twin, because what you are trying to hide from them, if you're feeling like you're too spiritual or too advanced or too out of the box for them, what you are holding back and not showing them is exactly the key for what they need to see within themselves. And then last but not least, they were talking about the awakening of the inner flame through the eyes of the heart. And they were talking about an integration of the oversoul's perspective that needs to happen. And that comes from making soul-based decisions that include both you and your twin. And that might be a new concept for you to integrate, or maybe you're already aware of this and practicing it. But ask yourself, what is healthy for the both of us now? What would be healthy for the both of us now? Silence, space, time, communication, healing, support, awakening. But whatever it is, you need to go ahead and do it yourself for your oversoul's contentment. So imagine a merging of both your higher self and your twin's higher self into an oversoul that oversees everything that both of you do down here, even though you're having individual experiences. And yes, you can operate from your own higher self by now, but can you operate from the oversoul that rules both you and your twin, and is the one making decisions that are in alignment with the purpose of that oversoul, rather than decisions that are only for personal and individual gain? So the universe is really asking you to go higher, rise above your own higher self. Can you put your own personal needs to the side now and think about soul development for both of you? Don't you want to be self-empowered and have your twin go through the same process? I mean, don't you want to be free and allow your twin to be free as well from all the conditioning? So how are you conditioning their own happiness by thinking that only you can be the source of true happiness in their lives? Don't they themselves and you deserve to experience all sorts of love, all sources of love and light and happiness that are presented to you in your life? I mean, don't you want to awaken that inner flame once again and allow spirit to come through for the both of you? Isn't that something that would benefit you too along the process of the soul's development? Don't you owe it to yourself, your soul, and your oversoul to do everything that you need to do in order to achieve enlightenment for the two of you? Above your physical needs for union, physical touch, and all of that, can you oversee from your oversoul's perspective what both of you need to experience now? Because that's also unconditional love. It's tough love. It's having the ability to go above our own individual needs and personal gain in order to provide the experience that other people need to have in their lives for their own personal growth. That's part of your unconditional love, is allowing your twin to go through pain and hurt and their own experiences without your interference, without your protection. And this is not at all an easy process, but God really is asking you to have faith and allow things to unfold beyond your human control, beyond your human understanding, beyond the physical pain, which is, by the way, only a symptom of soul entrapment. It's just a signal that your soul needs to breathe and grow and evolve, and you are the only one conditioning it to a love that used to be, and not the greatness of what it could be in the future. So don't confine, don't measure, don't contain that love into a label. Let it expand into what is supposed to be in its full glory. Let it awaken you to new levels of consciousness and awareness. Let it consume your soul in the pursuit of that inner flame. Let it rise, let it burn. Do not put it in a box, for it won't have enough space to grow to its full potential. Don't condition your unconditional love, is what they're asking of you. And how is the universe supposed to bring you new things if you're still holding on to the past ones? How can you have your soul's desires fulfilled if you're still wishing to have your human desires achieved? How can God even surprise you if you're always on the lookout? So get busy, get distracted, get focused. Get so intertwined with the growth of your own soul that you don't even see it coming when it hits you. Let God make you bump into union when you least expect it. Don't you want to be surprised? Don't you want to surrender to the plan that it's so much bigger than any plan that you might slightly entertain in your human brain? Because we don't have the ability to see the grandness of God's plan, and I'm glad we can't. Because he surprises us when we least expect it, right? He rewards us when we most need it. And he enlightens us like 2 seconds before we're about to give up, right? So my advice is that let it consume you. Let it be you, and you be that love every day, always, no matter what, without any measure, without any label. Transcend all your past desires and expect new ones to arise from the enlightenment of that which is your oversoul. You're really being called here to step into your oversoul, above your higher self, above your twin's higher self. Connect with the desires of the oversoul, because it knows which experiences you're going to have individually. And it knows what key you are holding for the personal freedom of both you and your twin. You don't need to be ready. You only need to be brave enough to take a leap of faith and let God surprise you. So I really hope that this message has brought you faith and clarity about your situations at the moment. And I'm really praying that you stay safe and protected within the power of your own heart. Big love to all of you.